What martial art did Chuck Norris actually practice? Most people have never heard of it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why that answer matters to me personally. The art is called Tang Soo Do. To understand Chuck Norris's martial arts, we must first understand the art that started it all. Tang refers to the Tang Dynasty, the era associated with Shaolin's Golden Age and the warrior monk legends. Su means hand, referring to the method or style of fighting. Do means the way, and that's not just a grammatical connector. In martial arts, Do carries a specific meaning. It signifies that the art is more than fighting. It is a path, a discipline built on a moral code, honor, respect, resilience, and character development. When an art carries Do in its name, it tells you something specific. Practicing this art is practicing the way. Tang Soo Do translated means China Hand Way in Korean. The Tang Dynasty method of fighting, practice as a path of discipline and character. Understanding the term Do helps us understand why Chuck Norris never walked away from this art and why so many who trained under him never did either. Now here is where the story gets interesting and where most people's understanding falls apart. The word karate or karate was not always written the way it is today. Originally, karate was written with the kanji characters for China hand. Tang and kata in their original characters both reference China and the Tang Dynasty. Tae and Su both meant hand. Tang Soo Do and the original karate in meaning were describing the same roots. Korea at this time was under Japanese occupation. Korean martial artists were forbidden from practicing their traditional arts under Japanese occupation. It was under these conditions that Wankuk Lee traveled to Tokyo to study under Gichin Funakoshi, the founder of Shotokan Karate. He brought those influences back to Korea, where he began teaching what he called Tang Soo Do. Then, Japanese nationalism changed everything. In the early 20th century, Japan did not want to acknowledge that their martial art traced its origin to China, and the reason went beyond national pride. During Japan's invasion of China, Japanese military forces organized matches between karate black belts and Chinese kung fu masters. The purpose was deliberate, to demonstrate the superiority of the Japanese method of fighting over the Chinese method, to use martial arts as an instrument of dominance. But a martial art named China Hand cannot be used to assert superiority over China. You cannot claim your way is better than China's way while calling your art China Hand. The name had to change. The kanji character for kata, meaning China, was replaced with a different character, one that still read kata, but now meant empty. Empty hand instead of China hand. The art's Chinese origins were deliberately erased from the name itself. This history is reflected in the film Ip Man, starring Donnie Yen, a biographical film about Yip Man, the man who would later become Bruce Lee's teacher. The scene known as Ip Man versus 10 karate black belts is one of the most discussed in martial arts cinema, and while it may be a dramatization, the historical pressure it depicts were real. In 1958, a young United States Air Force serviceman named Carlos Ray Norris arrived in Korea. Stationed at Osan Air Base, 18 years old, what he found there would define the rest of his life. Korea had just reclaimed its independence, and with it, Korean martial artists reclaimed their art. Schools known as kwans had emerged across the country. Among them, Hwang Ki had founded the Muda Kwan, which became one of the most influential Korean martial arts organizations in history. It was into this Korea, still rebuilding its martial identity, that Chuck Norris first encountered Tang Soo Do. He began training in Tang Soo Do. His primary instructor was Jae Chul Shin, a Korean master who would later go on to found the World Tang Soo Do Association. Chuck Norris went on to become one of the most successful sport karate champions in American history. but his influence would reach beyond tournaments. Chuck Norris brought Tang Soo Do to the big screen when he fought Bruce Lee in one of the most iconic fight scenes in martial arts cinema in The Way of the Dragon. Meanwhile, back in the birthplace of Tang Soo Do, the Korean government was pushing to unify its martial arts schools under a single national art. Hwang Ki eventually reorganized the Mudokwan under a new name, Subakdo, to preserve the original art on his own terms. Not every practitioner within that lineage followed. Lines fractured, some went their own way, continuing to teach under what was becoming Korea's new national art. Tae Kwon Do, foot, fist, way. Foot representing kicks, fist meaning the method or fighting style, and the way. Korea moved away from the Tang Soo Do name. Chuck Norris kept it. He carried that name and that art directly into Hollywood and immortalized it in film and television. Today, it is a living lineage through every martial artist who trained under someone who can trace their lineage back to Chuck Norris. It lives on in practitioners carrying that lineage to this day. Now, here is where this stops being history. I hold a black belt in American Tang Soo Do with direct lineage to Chuck Norris himself. The same lineage we have been tracing through this entire video. My own martial arts journey began in a different school than the one where I would later earn that black belt. The art I called Tae Kwon Do was, at its roots, this exact tradition, renamed for political reasons before I was even born. The lineage, however, ran directly back to the Mudokwan. My original instructors earned their black belts under Grandmaster Dan K. Choi, a Grandmaster from the Mudokwan in Korea. I trained, I earned my ranks, I reached the highest level my school would give me, but I was held to a higher standard than those around me. I never received my black belt from that school, not because I wasn't good enough, but for reasons that go deeper than martial arts. I walked away, not just from Korean martial arts, from martial arts entirely. I thought I had stepped off the path, but once you walk it, you never really leave. Years went by. What brought me back was not a dojo or a belt. It was the boxing ring and a coach who had spent years working corners in world championship fights. He handed me the gloves. He taught me how to use them. What I didn't understand at the time was that he was teaching me martial arts through boxing. Before I knew it, I was back on the martial arts path, and I didn't even know it. And then I came back, not to where I started, to a new journey towards my first black belt that I had to earn on entirely different terms, years later. A different art, a different teacher, a different understanding of what Do actually means, not just as a word, but as a practice. I had to start all over again from the beginning and unlearn much of what had been ingrained in me since the beginning of my martial arts journey. Eventually, I came back to the Korean martial arts for the same reason those masters refused to walk away. Some things are worth finishing. If that's a story you want to follow, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss where it goes next.